we've helped physical products launch on Kickstarter. We did a 600, I think 2 different $600,000 launches. So it's from 0 to 600,000 in sales in 30 days.
Welcome. I'm here with Andrew. Andrew, welcome to the podcast, man. Super excited for this one. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, my main focus is building online courses for clients and then also teaching people how to do it. It's been a journey now for like 13 years of being in the online business space. I started in college building websites and realized pretty quickly that just making a beautiful website was not going to make much of a difference for people. So I started to dive into lead generation, marketing tactics, sales, copywriting, and live webinar training, just all of those things. Ended up building software and had a chance to work with thousands of entrepreneurs through our software product, where we were doing lead gen on Facebook and helping people do live trainings, and then eventually selling access to their digital training. So just been in the game for a long time and seen, my passion is really with the average entrepreneur who's trying to put these pieces together themselves, and just seeing how challenging that can be to make it look professional and actually make money for them.
Definitely love it. So you've been in the game, you said, for like 13 years. So tell us a little bit about kind of some of the early kind of digital products and courses that you launched, and then kind of some of the clients that you've worked with over the last few years, and kind of give us the stuff you've been working on. I'm curious.
Yeah, there's some awesome stories.
There's a lot.
Let's see if I can think of the most interesting ones for you guys. I think the early days, we integrated, PayPal into our product way back in like 2013. What was cool back then is we were working with a lot of people who were in like MLMs and like, pushing other products. So what we actually did is we were the first to embed live streaming video onto Facebook. So before Facebook Live existed, we found out how to we installed an app on a Facebook page, and then we took Hangouts on air and embedded it in there. And then we put a like gate on it, so people had to like the page to get access to the video training. And then eventually we added payment to that, so they could buy access to your hosted video content through
on
PayPal.
Facebook.
Yeah, all on Facebook. And then we had a system, dude. We had a system where it would automatically add them to a Facebook group after they opted in or registered or bought. Then we hooked it up to messaging, so it would send a welcome message and a thank you, and you could blast out messages to everyone who was registering. Dude, it was the coolest thing.
Right. You're blowing my mind. Damn. Wow. Well, I don't know about the stuff that they work on right now. Then, if that's how many years ago was that when Facebook Live wasn't even around?
Yeah, 2013 was when we really took off with that product.
Wow. Yeah, nice. And what was that product?
It was called 22 Social. Yeah, it was a software product called 22 Social, and we ended up expanding out to like any entrepreneur. It initially started, so the whole idea was crazy because what we found was in the MLM world, it was like anyone could just go, promote a product, build their team. There's a lot of ways to make money. So it was like a great doorway into entrepreneurship for low entry price.
Yeah. And is this just physical products in the MLM, or it's anything? Is it digital products like insurance? What actual products?
Yeah, it was a wide range. It was a lot of supplements, like protein shake, fitness stuff. There was a wide variety of like digital products. And anyway, it was, it's a kind of a weird space. Like it attracts a lot of people who aren't very good at marketing. So you get some like interesting people and tactics, and not always the best. But we learned a lot about what works. So the people who were actually making money doing that were the ones who were consistently showing up every week and doing what they called like live webinars. Back then there were a lot of ways to do it, but the consistency of showing up every week and interacting live is what really helped people stand out. So that's why we built that product, to make it easier. We thought everyone would want to do it, but actually very few people could do it well. So what we did then is we created a system where they could simulcast it. And anyway, all the reps could put the leaders live training on their page and then have their link below. Wow. So they didn't have to do the work. It was early affiliate marketing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the key
Damn.
takeaway was that live video was the key for selling any product or service,
Mm,
and that's the big
mm.
lesson that we learned.
Yeah, yeah. And is that still the case, you think, right now,
Uh,
or how's it changed since then?
yeah, it's the concept is still there. I think the truth is that it doesn't have to be live necessarily, but
Mm,
a good live recording, the energy of interacting live and teaching live, especially if you want to sell info
mm,
products and programs,
mm-hmm,
they want to
mm-hmm.
see how you show up, if you really have the knowledge and even your personality and how you present your ideas. If they can follow along and they get that
Interesting.
experience. So podcasts are great for that nowadays. You see the short form videos to get a teaser and then inviting them into a longer form
Mm-hmm.
webinar where you can get to know the person better and kind of see behind the scenes of what's going on.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, that makes a ton of sense. I've seen a few. I've actually tested a few and been a part of a few kind of like podcast VSLs or podcast webinars, and they seem to get a lot higher view rates. It's hard to kind of tie in like a nice kind of sales message into the end. But yeah, I've seen some people. I know some people absolutely crushing it with like a podcast style VSLers content. Um, in terms of like VSLs or kind of webinars, I'm curious around what your main kind of go to tactic or tactics are right now. Maybe let's pause. Let's step back. When you say info products and courses that you're building right now, do you have like a particular kind of price point or range that you focus on, or does it kind of depend on the market and stuff like that?
Yeah, I wish I could say there's one perfect answer. It really does
Yeah.
fluctuate based on
Mm.
what we found is like a lot of our clients are teaching business type content. So they are
Yeah.
what we've
Mm-hmm.
attracted are like leaders in their space who are doing well in their business. So all the way from like photographers, hairstylists,
Mm-hmm.
mindset coaches, if they're doing well in their business, then they want to teach other people in their industry how they do that. So like how they
Mm-hmm.
market or how they
Mm-hmm.
advertise, they're teaching specifics or how they bundle their packages and do the sales calls. So a lot of our clients are actually teaching money making things, which you can charge more for because the ROI is much more obvious. So what we've seen around a price range of like, from like 750 to like $2,000 in there has been a pretty good sweet spot. Our best case studies I've done like 6-figure launches with a price point around that, like around 1,500 has been a good one. And they don't need a huge audience. We've seen this work with clients who have just a few hundred people in like a Facebook group. And if they're the targeted right people and you're saying, hey, I can show you how to make more money in your business, it's kind of a no brainer. If like, I'm going to go behind the scenes of my business and show you everything I'm doing. They don't even have to make up any new content. It's like, I'll just show you how I run my business.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here are my SOPs. Yeah, I've worked with a few people as well where they already have the SOPs documented and they basically just add an intro and it's like yeah,
There it
here's
is.
the
That's
yeah,
super
exactly.
easy.
Which is what people want. You know what I mean? They don't care about like theory. It's like if you just give me the
Yes.
script, just plug and play. So okay, so the price range around kind of 900 to 2,000, and I assume all the way up into 2,000, you're selling this kind of like on automation. There's no is there kind of like manual DMs or someone closing for the high ticket, or it's all automated?
Yeah, it's definitely we usually get our clients from like 0 to 1. So we get them through that first launch, which is generally their warm audience. We just say, hey, look, we got to help you package this up. So we don't take them beyond that. We usually hand that off to someone who does more like conversion tactics and advertising. So what we've seen work well is like Facebook groups or wherever they have their community, do some interaction in a live format, build up to one day we're going to be there live with them, have some bonuses, a promotion, a special deal. And usually that's a pre-sell. So we don't even have them make their course until after that. So we're validating like, hey, here's the idea. What do you guys think? I'm looking for like, a handful of people to come join. And then they get to work and even building their course content with their students it's just way easier for them. And like, it's more fun and you can create a better product.
Especially with kind of like Q&A where it's like you may teach 10 things and then the students may have questions. Instead of you having to reshoot it, you just answer it on the live, and then that's the course
Yep.
in the evergreen version. Okay, so most of the courses that you're launching kind of have an existing audience or like an existing group that you want to launch to. You reckon that's like obviously very important?
I'd say it is, but it's not required. I mean, obviously, if you want to make a bunch of money quickly, that's going to help. But a lot of clients, what I've found is the leap from knowing something to teaching it is a very big leap, and a lot of people underestimate how different that is. And I learned it myself back in like 2015 when I started to teach graphic design, and that's what I knew. So like I built a product and a brand that generated millions of dollars with our funnel, and like I just kind of intuitively knew how to do that, like how to like bring the brand image together and make it look good and like create the marketing content. And I was doing it every day, but I'm like, when we ended up launching our first course to like teach people how to monetize their Facebook business page. And this was again back in like 2014, I think 2014 is when we did it. So we had been doing it for a year or two. We had generated millions of dollars in sales purely through our Facebook page. And so we were like, look, we want to help you guys do this too. And I took on one of the modules. We had a small team of like 3 of us. And I'm like, well, I'll teach how to make your page look good and make your graphics all look good, right? When I sat down to actually teach that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I know intuitively how to do it, but how do I get them to like do this successfully without me doing it for them?
So yeah, I know.
That was
especially when you're so kind of like down a rabbit hole where it's like 10 years in, you're thinking of all the nuances, and it's like, it ends up being like 40 lessons.
So massive leap, right? And I was like, whoa, this is way harder than I thought. So I just pulled like a couple all-nighters, like making my slide deck and just totally obsessed over it. And that was just the beginning of my journey. I've been doing it ever since then, still trying to refine how do I teach this, how to make it easier for them, creating templates, resources, examples. Like it's just a never ending journey, but it's really rewarding because you're like, okay, you actually get better yourself. You actually become a master at the topic by streamlining your own process. And it made me more efficient in my business. I was able to actually outsource at that point. I was able actually to teach my team. Yeah. Right. So I don't have to do it all. And actually it's easier for me to get my work done. I can scale faster because now I can actually teach my own team or VA to do it. And I can make a new income stream by teaching others how to do it themselves. So it's like a total win-win-win.
Amazing. So with the products that you're launching, I'm curious around kind of what the process looks like. If someone has an idea or has an audience, how do you go about kind of figuring out what topic or what niche to focus on with the course idea? Because people may have like 5 different ideas and it's very broad, and I want to teach them everything. So how do you kind of figure out that product market positioning with people?
Yeah, I know there's several ways to do it. You can do the analytical research and dive in. I find that the energy behind it is actually really important. So we've seen some clients try to do like the right course, that's going to be like the most optimized for success, and they're like not fully in alignment with it. So what we usually do now is we just kind of work through, all right, what would be either the most fun for you right now or would take the most off your plate, right? So we look at all the holistic view of like, what is the purpose of this course in your business? Because the first course and, putting all your eggs in one basket with that first course it's not a smart strategy, because again, you're learning how to teach. Maybe you don't have a huge audience yet, or even if maybe you don't want a big audience yet because you're a little bit rough around the edges with your product. So like, what would be the most beneficial course for you to make for your business right now? And is it something you want to streamline, like create your own process to dial that in better? Do you want to like hand this off to your team to teach them how to do this task so you can actually, even if the course doesn't sell, it's actually still serving and helping your business? And then also, like, what is your audience asking for, and who would be most? Do you have 10 people out there who would just be really pumped to take a course from you and learn what you're doing? Those are kind of the obvious ones that we found to be much more fun and beneficial out of the gate.
Yeah, nice. And you mentioned before around the last question where you're saying how you don't necessarily need an audience. So if someone, they have expertise in a field, they've been doing it for 10, 15 years, and they want to launch an online course, but they don't have an audience, they don't have a group, what can they do to either still have a successful launch, or at least kind of have decent evergreen sales coming in from your perspective?
Yeah, the beautiful thing is it's better to start right now, even if you don't have an audience. And the way you start, like, this is a big journey. So you're really building a whole new side of your business. And to make that business, if you want to have evergreen sales and start having ads going to it, you need to have proof that people are having success going through this. You need to have proof that your process works, and you need to have a lot of confidence around your ability to help people. So I usually say, if you don't have a big audience, let's start by selling this to like 3 people as a coaching program or some kind of like one-on-one service that you're going to provide. And even if you're already doing that in your business, like just start to like deconstruct that process and turn it into a course by getting paid. We've seen clients just launch with like, hey, a small group of 6 people, a 3-month program. This is one of our best case studies. She just said, hey, I'm looking for 6 people who want to see how I run my business, or like when they want to, you want to see behind the scenes. It's going to be a 3-month program. It's going to be $500 a month, $1,500. And cool. She ended up selling that out. And then that gave her the confidence and the validation that the ideas worked. And then we just packaged that up and relaunched it again as a more scalable course to her other audience. Now, if you don't have anyone to pitch that to, we always recommend going and finding people who do have an audience and just partner with them. So we do a lot of partnerships, like affiliate partnerships, or maybe they just, don't want any money, but they're happy to just, hey, my audience needs this. Like, let's connect. Let me bring you on, perfect. Interview you, share some value with my audience, and then you can invite them over. Yeah. So you don't need your own audience to sell it.
No. Oh man, that's super smart. I want to go deep into the kind of partnership affiliate world, because I feel like I was maybe too late to the game and missed the affiliate thing. I was kind of straight into ads and content. So I feel like there's this whole ClickBank affiliate world going on that, I'm missing out on. So you don't have an audience. Tell me, like, practically, maybe if you have an example of someone who didn't have an audience and how you used partnerships or found affiliates and what that process would look like.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, that's how I've made my money my entire career. So I've never mastered ads, and I want to. Yeah. I think it's a huge opportunity that I'm missing out on. But early in the early days, we had a small team and no budget. We were able to get a few $1 million in sales with our software product that no one knew about, no funding, it was fully bootstrapped. It was all through partnerships. And we just found people who had an audience and we're like, hey, we're building this product. Can we help you succeed with it? Maybe it'll help you out. And then we just kind of like get on a call with them. We want to give it to you for free and see if it's a good fit. And then we just help them have success with it. Now you could do the similar model with, I haven't done the like ClickBank kind of like, there are professional affiliate marketers out there, and that is an approach you can take. But I've seen better success and a higher percentage of success if you just find people who really genuinely are in the same space as you and they have an audience of people who really need what you have. And then just get on a call with them and say, hey, I've got a program or a process. I can take people from here to here. Here are the steps that I've put in place. Here's some examples of people who've succeeded. Here are the shortcuts I've found or developed. I'd love to share this with your audience. I think it may help them. And can we get on a call and just go through it? And I'd be happy to give it to you for free, or like help you with any of these things that maybe you're struggling with as well. And if you get that leader, the influencer, to be like, whoa, this is awesome, they're going to want to share it with their audience because they're always looking for ways to help their audience succeed.
Of course. So with the product, I would have it find like a leader or a group leader, whatever, who has my target audience in that community. And then just like, hey, here's my free course. It may help your community. They may share it to the community, and therefrom, you may get customers or clients at least, and you can just rinse and repeat this. Different people.
Yeah, you don't even have to have a freebie necessarily. You could create the freebie as like a custom free training for their audience to say, hey, you guys, this I heard from so and so that, or like they could interview you and say, hey, my audience is struggling with this. These are questions I get all the time. I'm bringing on this expert who can help you guys. There's always overlap. Like, let's say we see this happen. We just have a client right now who's a hairstylist, and she helps hairstylists optimize their business, make more money, and she's bringing on experts who are like tax experts, and like you can imagine all the experts that she's bringing on that she doesn't want to deal with. But that person, that tax expert that she brings on, may have a course that her audience would actually want to buy. So there's all this overlap. We're like, oh, we're all helping each other out, and like everyone's an expert at something perfect. Different.
Similar to podcasting, how everyone goes in each other's shows. It's like underground with paid product, because there's. I'm hearing it a lot, especially in these podcasts, a lot of these crazy partnerships and how useful some of them are. So it's awesome. Ty Lopez does a similar thing in his online courses where he just brings experts in for SMMA, and he's an even teacher. You know what I mean? He's like 10 teachers on a different topic. They have their own course, and he's still kind of profiting from it. So I think that's an awesome model. Now tell me, I'm curious around kind of what what the funnels that you're going to market with are right now? Because I know you're launching to a group, but what does that? I'm sure it may depend on the price point, but what are those funnel structures like webinar, opt-in, checkout? How do you think about that?
Yeah, pretty simple. I've based it off of Donald Miller's Marketing Made Simple book. I thought he had the most clear cut. Now everyone's got all these funnel strategies, and I've learned a lot of the tactics out there, and I think there's so many different ways to do it. I just find with a lot of people, what we see is trying to do these more premium, like, yeah, sure, people are making millions of dollars doing these amazing funnels, but like to realistically launch all like something that complex and have while you're building your own course and you're trying to learn how to teach what you're doing, like it becomes way overwhelming. So we try to make it as simple as possible for our clients, and especially in the early stages of like their course business. So the simplest we've come up with is usually like the process we go through is first we try to map out, okay, what is the course going to be? And then we work on the sales page of that course. We don't work on the content at all. We say, how are you going to pitch this and sell it? So getting just the clarity of the sales page of your course is like step one, becomes like a pivot point for everything, because now we have what the offer is. And now we know you're going to have to deliver on the back end. So, but now we also know what we need people to agree to. So like we have like the end thing that you're going to sell. So now we think about what would be a free training or some kind of resource that would attract people who would want this. So you have the sales page. Now what would attract people who want that offer? And usually it's just a free training around the same kind of topics. And again, what would be a fun, quick win for their audience? But generally we'll put a date on the calendar. It's always a date. So you start with a date and you say, all right, when can I have my sales page ready to buy? And that's going to be the day that you're going to host a free training. So we gear everything towards a date. And usually it's a few weeks out. And we say, all right, so we try to just get this thing going. Otherwise you're going to overthink it forever. So we say, let's say 3 weeks from now, you're going to host a free training. So we say at that time, you need to have some free content ready, your sales pitch ready, and your course ready to buy. No course content done, just a welcome. Hey, thanks, we're starting on this date. So there's some kind of expectation of the course is going to be developed over this time. Here are the dates it's going to be released. And that's fine. That's all we need to get done there. Now we think about, as we're building out the course sales page, we're also starting to promote a freebie. So it's like a simultaneous process of, even if it's just a free like checklist guide, we're going to promote that and get people to register to see if they want it. So we say, hey, coming on this date, I'm going to have a free guide for you guys, or behind the scenes checklist of what I do for my business. Or if you're thinking about doing this, putting together a resource for you, just opt in now if you're interested. On that day, you're going to have access to that resource. Plus, I'm going to do a special live training to walk you through it and help you out. So you're immediately now we can start engaging your audience and saying, hey, what are you guys struggling with? Would you be interested in this? So it's just getting some messaging out there, even if it's just private chats, whoever you can. Usually just find 5 people that you're thinking about that would be interested and say, hey, would this be interesting to you? And you can pivot really quick. It's just a freebie, so it's not that big a deal. You can try to see what would resonate with your audience. And now through that process, you're getting the engagement from your audience. You're building towards a date. You have a deadline. And on that date, you got to show up, give them the freebie, have some fun with them. You want to be in good energy, good spirits. You're talking about the opportunity, the mistakes or challenges people are facing, and then what would happen for them if they figure that out. So you're not really giving too much away for free. It's not like you're just dumping all your information on them. You're talking about, hey, here's where people are at. Here's what I'm seeing. Here's how I've overcome that problem. Here's some tips to help you out and some things to look out for. And actually, most people end up getting stuck or, can't figure out how to do this themselves. So that's why I'm putting together a program that will guide you through this step by step. And if you're interested, we've got a special deal right now for our early, beta testers or early enrollment special. And you can actually get the benefit of going through this course with us, or as I build it with you. You're going to get personalized feedback and attention. And, the first 10 people who sign up are going to get the special deal. And I'm going to make sure you succeed because I want to help, I'm going to use, if you like it, we'll use your testimonial on our sales page in the future. So it's going to be a win-win.
Cool. Yeah. No, that was awesome. How you did that. I can tell you've done that a few times. That pitch at the end, it's good. No. So currently, like let me just backtrack. So right there, we speaking about testing different lead magnets on the front end to see what kind of works that all drive towards that one date. Is it? And you're kind of putting feelers out. Did I understand that correctly? Or
if it's not getting any traction, I wouldn't. You could try different angles for the same lead magnet, sure. We even suggest, after we get through that first, there's just so many things you're juggling, and we try not to overwhelm the client. So, hey, we're going to give it the best shot. And if that one flops and you just didn't feel good about the lead magnet, try it again the next month. And honestly, with our clients now, the ongoing stuff is like every month trying a new angle, a new pitch until you really nail it. And that's the lesson I learned all the way back 10, 13 years ago, working with leaders who were making a lot of money. Like every week they were showing up and doing like the same pitch, like every single week. Some of them were doing it 2-3 times a week, inviting people live, hanging out, even if it's 2-3 people there, just practicing your pitch, connecting with them. And you just get better over time. And I relate it to like comedians. You see the Netflix special. Sets. Yeah, you see the Netflix special, but that's their like 100th time doing that set, and they did it in small groups, right? They did it in like private little club.
Testing, getting feedback, exactly.
Yeah, because you're just not going to nail it the first time, and everyone who thinks they're going to have this like $1 million webinar the first time they go up on stage, like it's a very bad strategy.
Yeah, no, definitely. So with these clients that are going evergreen, are they doing a live every month, and then they're just kind of testing different leads to drive more traffic? And when I say leads, kind of different content, pushing them in, and then it's once a month or once a week?
The cadence that, I think it depends on how aggressive you are and how much time you want to dedicate to it. I've seen weekly. That worked for me. And honestly, that was the other strategy that I used to like grassroots grow my software company. Was we started doing a live training every week. And that's how we got known. We built a Facebook group of a few thousand people. This was again before it was even a thing. Like Facebook Live didn't exist, but we were doing that. We built a really good relationship with our audience. And I've always done really well with a small audience, but like really engaged. And when you're showing up weekly, it's challenging you. It's creating a cycle. I really like the weekly cycle personally, because you're building towards that every week. In the back of your mind, you're like, okay, I'm gonna take notes throughout the week of what can I share? What insights or like breakthroughs am I seeing for myself or my clients that I could share for free? And that becomes just tons of free content that you can put on YouTube or gate it up as an opt-in. I like that cadence. Not everyone can commit to that, especially if you're new. So I've seen people try the monthly. But again, sometimes when you put it monthly, you put too much pressure on yourself. And it's like, again, you're putting too many eggs in that one basket. And it just like, if it doesn't work, then you're like deflated and disappointed. So I would say personally, like if you just want to get into it and really get things going, try doing it weekly. And just, it doesn't have to be even like streamed on Facebook. It could just be private. You don't have to promise the replay to anybody. Just practice doing it. And then after a few weeks of doing like the same kind of pitch, you may find one that's like, hey, that recording was great. Let me just put that as my evergreen freebie. And now you have like a more optimized freebie that you're actually proud of.
Got it. Okay. So basically let's say you do fortnightly, you do these live sessions, you're answering questions, walking through, you're slowly getting better. If one of them like is really, really good, you can just take the recording and then put that as an evergreen webinar to sell that course kind of on autopilot, right?
Yeah. You see people do that strategy with like even micro content, quick Instagram lives or short little videos or like bits and snippets, and like see what gets the most engagement. So if you have an audience on social, you could do more micro tests and like daily posts or quick little lives to see what resonates. And now a lot of people use that as a strategy to get feedback way faster. And now you say, okay, that's what resonated. Let me incorporate more of that into my content.
I'd love to hear some examples of like the biggest campaigns and how you use this kind of lead magnet free training evergreen strategy. So kind of what was the lead magnet or the initial hook to these campaigns, and then how did you kind of transition into the product, and what was the pitch of the product? If you could give 2 examples.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give let's see. Both are actually 2 of the best ones were photographers. And the first one was a friend who we were actually at their wedding in Tulum, Mexico, and she was doing really well in her photography business. And she's like, I want to make a course. I just want to I'm getting kind of burnt out doing photo shoots all the time. And I've figured out a lot of things that work for me in my business that I think other people are asking me about now. We're like, well, okay, just start like teaching, like don't overthink it. So at the time I was really into Facebook groups, and I said, just start a Facebook group and then get 10 people in there and start doing a weekly training and just answer like, hey, what do you guys need help with? And just help out as much as you can. So she had nothing in place, no tech, no fancy like structure of a course. It was just, hey, I'm going to help out photographers. I want to show you what I'm doing. Come join my group. And this could be any channel, any platform, whatever, wherever you can get their attention. She did it weekly, and it took her about a year of doing that every week, practicing, teaching, training, just whatever topics came up, Q&As. She didn't have to stress over it too much. It was totally free. But eventually, after I think it was like 6 or 7 months of doing that, she got a lot more confident. She's like, okay, I see that I know a lot more than they do about these specific topics. And she ended up hosting a training. Actually, first we told her, all right, now you're going to package this up and put it into a course. So we just said, put it on the calendar, a 4-week course. What are the topics? 4 weeks. What could you teach and package up as a course? So let me find the exact, her name is Meg Marie, and Meg Marie Photography. And her course that she created was called the Confident Brand Photographer. Nice. The promise was 4 weeks to build a magnetic business that does your marketing for you. So it's a lot around like how I think the 4 weeks, she still has the actual graphics on the page. Week 1 was the client experience. Week 2 was planning a brand shoot. Week 3 was photo shoot day with Meg. So she thought, hey, it'd be really cool to go behind the scenes and show how I do my photo shoots. So again, just over the shoulder of what I'm already doing.
Yeah, man, that's it. Nice.
And then week 4 was, final product. So like your whole like delivering the photos to your client and that whole experience. So really simple, like what she's already doing every day.
Definitely, yeah. And what was the target market for that course? Like existing photographers or people who wanted to become photographers?
Yeah, generally photographers who were looking to get into this niche of brand photography, which is really popular now with like entrepreneurs and business owners who want to get like brand photo shoots done. So she was a little bit ahead of the curve on that. So it was people looking to maybe move from like wedding photography into like a different type of photo style, and also just aspiring photographers who were like doing it as a side thing and were like, hey, I want to make this a full-time income, which was her story, right? So she just went back through her own story. And the freebie that she made was 3 ways to make more money, magic, and impact as a brand photographer. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's just what was on her heart that she thought would be fun to teach. And it's just a 1-hour training that she did in her Facebook group. She just invited people, hey, I'm just going to go live in my group on this date. At that time, she had like 700 or 800 people in the Facebook group. It might have been even less than that, maybe 400 or 500. But this was again after like 6-7 months of doing free content, building the group. It just kind of organically grew. And through that, she actually started getting invited onto podcasts. She got featured by one of the products that she uses for her photography business. Did like a guest blog post for her. So this started to like build her brand. So she was building this brand of education, not just doing the work. And when she launched, the strategy was really like, hey, it's going to be, I think now it's the full price. And this is a strategy that we do pretty consistently, is we say, what would be the dream price that you want to sell this for? Usually it's around $1,000, $1,500. I think the price now is, let's see, it's $1,300, but she sold it to like the first 10 people for like $250. And then the next handful of people was like $300. It was like a increasing price up to somewhere around like $500 for that initial launch. And she filled it up. She made like 15 grand her first launch. But she ended up getting that to be a 6-figure business within, I think, the first year. And she then just started, like, that gave her so much momentum. And again, she was terrified. She sold it without any content done. Then she had to make the course. She was like, oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed now. But I'm like, hey, you just got to do it. Like you promised it. Now it's time to execute and just get it done. 4 weeks, you're going to get it done. She got the first draft done. And then she kept relaunching it and adding more and more to it. now it's like this full blown course. And then she took those students and sold a mastermind. She took some of the content out of the course and sold lower priced products. So now she has this whole product ladder from that first initial launch.
Wow. Yeah. Right? No, that's yeah. Love that. That's so dope. So that's awesome. I'm curious in that, we might go a little bit deep on marketing, but I know you're a pro, so I'm curious. So when we're doing like, first of all, how do you do, customer and competitor research when you're kind of launching these products? Because even there, when you spoke about the photography business, knowing a nuance that maybe the market has tried wedding photography before, and now brand photography is kind of like the shiny new object. How do you, when you're entering in the saturated space, what do you look for? How do you get like a good grasp so you can come in with your product as kind of new and unique and different?
Yeah, no, I think this is where I'm maybe not as analytical as traditional marketers. I'm much more of a visual, like feely person. So I'm a more of a designer than a marketer.
man, I think I vibe that too. I think I'm similar. Where it's like a
nice.
Feeling sometimes.
Yeah. And I think it's like the energetics we've seen, like you can, and I've tried it from personal experience. I've gone through and I'm like, all right, here's like the ultimate webinar pitch structure, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to master this. I'm going to do it to the T. I'm going to just sit there and grind away to put this presentation together and do it the perfect way and like follow all the steps. I show up and I'm just kind of like robotic. I'm not fully like in it. And I get crickets. And then I'll do something where I'm like, oh, I'm like inspired. I'm really excited to share something. And I get engagement and like just so much interaction where I'm just like, it's genuinely like, I just freaking care about it. And I want to help people. And there's so much more like, just getting feedback from your own audience, actually having, so usually it's even conversations with clients or people that your ideal customer, talking to them. And nowadays, like what I do now is record everything and then I have AI analyze it. So I'm like, what are the things that are coming up, or like do like a Q&A in a group, or I've done surveys, right? I've done, a friend of mine does beta launch strategy. So it's like, hey, I'm putting a program together. I'm going to give you totally free access to it if you fill out this survey. So if you just want to like get feedback from your audience, like what challenges are you facing? What would be most interesting to you? Which topics are most interesting? And just see what like your actual people care about and what they need right now. Because it is changing pretty quickly. If you try to like use data that's existing already on the web, it may not be what people really want right now.
Old. Yeah. And a lot as well. And sometimes it's like, I don't know if it's the same with you, but a lot of people in my circle, they kind of want to copy existing funnels. And I know, there's like funnel hacking and a lot of people do it. But sometimes it kind of, if people have a ton of testimonials or a ton of case studies or a really good back end, you may need to do something like different than what the mainstream is doing, but also that method's working. So I'm curious around, because I struggle with this a lot where people are like, oh, just copy the funnel. I'll try copying a funnel and it doesn't work for me, versus just kind of doing it through first principles. I'm curious what you think about that.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think there's just a level of being realistic, and I'll hack a funnel and I'm like, do people realize how much work it went in to make this funnel? I mean, from the oftentimes
like
the best funnels
steps.
Yeah, there's like 18 sales pages that would take weeks and weeks, and then each product itself, like, so to throw that bonus in there, you have to develop and create that bonus, right? I mean, that's not just like a sales page; it's also the entire product that they probably launched a few years ago. Like, these things are. And it's cool to see, like, okay, you can build these assets because each product you make is an asset that you can use in different ways. So we have clients who like use a course to help sell their coaching programs or their one-on-one because you can like add extra value. But it's all these compounding assets and building your brand. And when you see the pinnacle person who's like the top of their game, has their team, and so many clients come to me and they're like, I want to be like Amy Porterfield or whatever. I'm like, great. Maybe like version 5 of your course, if that, like make a few $100,000 first before
give yourself 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause like, you don't even need to hire a professional like video, or just do it rough and raw now and like get it out there, see what resonates. And if it really lands and you feel like, okay, if I can elevate this, that extra 10%, it may help, double my conversions. Great. At that point, you can invest more money and resources into it. But just getting the first draft off the ground is such a huge leap that even if you sell to 3 people, that's fine. Just know that it's a long-term play. But again, you can have the immediate ROI by leveraging that course for your own business and make it useful in your business right now, even if it doesn't sell, but also learn how to teach. And then that's going to make you more confident and more energetic and excited to go make those connections and referral partners and eventually go speak on stage. And now you have people listening to you and you're showing up with confidence. They're going to want to go check out what you're selling.
For sure. Well, we don't have a ton of time left, man. So I would love to kind of chat about, some more kind of crazy stories or some crazy funnels that hit, really, really big scale that you worked on and the strategies you used. If you can think of any good ones.
Yeah. A few things that worked. I've had success with like Kickstarter as well. And I learned a lot of principles with that. So the product I made years ago that was doing Facebook lead gen, what we got known for was sweepstakes. And that's a strategy that I don't see being used a lot, but it was really effective. We had a lot of successful launches, and you can go from 0 to having a big community pretty quick. So we've helped brands start with nothing from scratch. They do a sweepstakes like, hey, we're giving this away, even if it's a digital product, refer, come join this free webinar or something. And if you refer friends, you're going to get more chances. We're going to give away like either one-on-one $10,000 package, or we're going to give away our course, our entire program, or something. We've done it with physical products. So we've helped physical products launch on Kickstarter. We did a 600, I think 2 different $600,000 launches. So it's from 0 to 600,000 in sales in 30 days. Like with the brand that didn't exist, right? And there was a combination of gathering up like influencers and partnerships and having all of them promote to their audience, doing the sweepstakes promotion. So showing up, inviting your friends. We used a Facebook group for that. So after they registered, hey, come join our group and our community. You're going to get updates. You're going to see behind the scenes of the founders, like what we're doing with our product. So these principles of building a brand and launching products and engaging your audience, I learned a lot of that from those experiences, and they were really, really wild.
Damn, yeah, it sounds crazy because I used to work like at Founder Magazine, and some of the biggest launches that we had were when and a lot of the big guys do it now as well, where it's timed. There's an event or a date. There's kind of there's content, there's partners, and it's all a big kind of hype, and almost has some kind of network effect where it almost seems like there's a buzz in your niche. I see some of them at Twitter as well. So having that kind of multi-partner, huge kind of launch strategy, and even saw that in the NFT space. And NFT kind of is a digital product, but there was that like FOMO hype countdown. You're going to miss out. That just drives people crazy, So we can learn. If people can sell monkey pictures for 100K, we should learn something from them for sure.
Totally, that's so funny because it's so true. It's very similar energy. But I don't recommend, if someone's new to courses, like that's a lot to juggle your first time through. And if you don't have the budget to like hire a team and like really manage that, it can become overwhelming. So yeah, just I haven't tried that with my current clients, and truly the big launches, I think that's great. At some point it makes sense. But for the newbie getting into this game of online courses, I see a lot of relief from clients who are like maybe had this like high hopes of doing a big launch, and then they're like, oh, we only got 5 people in. I'm like, and then they start to teach and they're like, oh, I'm glad only 5 people are in because I really need some time to develop my content and connect with people, and having a small group is actually better at the beginning. But eventually it can happen within 12 months, like where you just become like, all right, I'm ready to go get this out there because I'm so confident now.
Yeah. And finally, I'm curious kind of what you're seeing working in the space right now. Are you testing any AI tools or messenger bots, or is it just still kind of good lead magnets and live calls? What do you?
Man, I'm obsessed with AI. So another quick story, a couple years ago, early 2021, I was looking for some solutions and I found like AI tools were starting to pop up. So I got into AI back then. I did one free training. I became an affiliate with, like, at the time it was conversion AI. Now it's Jasper. I was also copy.ai. I became an affiliate with both of those, and I did a training to my audience. And I was just like, this is the future, guys. Like, check it out. I showed them like what's going on. And I was really excited about it. Again, just from like pure enthusiasm and excitement. I got so much buzz. The CEO of Copy AI hit me up and was like, hey, can I come on and do an interview? So I'm like, sure, here's a link. He booked for like the next day. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, so the next day I brought him on. And then I ended up being their affiliate manager for a year and a half. I did 150 hours of live training with them. So we were doing like daily training, and same thing, help them go from 10,000 users to 10 million. And yeah, so in like 2 years,
man.
So the same strategies I applied to that. I love selling software and teaching software. That's one thing I'm passionate about. But yeah, AI, man. So I had a chance to like see this whole wave way before it got mainstream. And I'm still obsessed. Where AI is right now is so smart. And just the last few months, in October right now, like this month is going to be a huge breakthrough in AI. A lot of things coming out. So yeah, man, I'm using it in every aspect of my business. Every task that I do, I'm trying to train the AI to automate that, so I can do it not just for myself, but I can teach it, share it, create templates, and also use it within my own agency.
Yeah, no, I'm the same here, man. Like I think without ChatGPT, yeah, I'd be lost. It's almost like internet now. You know what I mean? Helps with everything, research, spelling. So it's gonna be a crazy time to see, all these new tools coming up. I'm even experimenting with some kind of AI sales, kind of like sales conversation bots as well for outbound.
Yep.
Which we're testing. There's a ton of stuff, man. Even like email outreach with like custom scripts. We were doing that, so it's going to be interesting few months, man.
Hyper personalized. Yeah, the sales process is now going to be. It's going to learn all about what you're offering, and you can have your robots like doing those interactions directly with your potential customers. I think even on the back end course side of it, the course creation or the course experience is going to be totally different. They're going to buy into your brain, and they're going to be able to interact with your ideas.
A co-pilot. Yeah. I know. I've been thinking about what's going to put us out of business. You know what I mean, in terms of online course, and there's definitely that co-pilot upload a brain. It's interesting, man. It's a crazy time. Feels like we're in a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, more important than ever to get these ideas out of your head, start to document your process, because you can train an AI and then sell access. It's basically your own software product that will just run for you, and you can charge a monthly fee for access to it.
Well, man, you should launch that, and I'll be happy to write a VSL funnel for it.
Working on it.
Some partnership, man. I reckon. Oh yeah, good. Love it, man. Well, let me know once it's live, and I can tell everyone about it and use it myself. And people in the audience can speak to the Lucas bot or the Andrew bot, or have us in a group chat or something. Who knows? Nice, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, so much value here, so much experience. I learned a ton. Is there anything else that you want to say? Any ideas that you want to share to the course creator community before we wrap up?
I think we covered a lot of my talking points. So yeah, I'd say just it's a long. I tell people, do something you're passionate about. I'm not in the game of like going to a niche product just to make money or something. Like, I really think branding is going to be key, because especially with AI and content just being blasted out there, you want to become known for a topic, and you want to be really passionate about it, and like be a micro niche leader. And one of the best ways to do that is to teach and share and create courses and create a product ecosystem that gives you the freedom to spend more of your time showing up in your space and building real authentic connection with your audience. And don't rely on the tech to do that. I mean, it can, but like, it's your brand, your personal brand is what people are going to look for, because they're going to be overwhelmed with information. They're going to look for trusted leaders, thought leaders who they can really trust. Yeah.
Totally, man. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. I love it. Well, if anyone listening, where can they find out more about you? What websites can they go to?
Yeah. So my agency is coursebuilderpros.com. And that's, we kind of like you, we do like the full service setup. So that's one site. I'm also developing some really cool stuff at designhacker.com. And that's going to be more of the like DIY. If you want access to like those AI prompts and graphic templates, everything I'm doing for our clients, I'm teaching that as well at designhacker.com.
Awesome. Well, Andrew, appreciate you coming on, man. A ton of value to everyone listening. Check out Andrew below. And that's the pod. Thanks for listening.